Bogotá. Hello, bienvenidas y bienvenidos. Welcome to the International Conference on Family Planning 2025. The ICFP is already ongoing. This is a historical event. It's the first time that this conference is done in Latin America. Welcome you all to Colombia. We are streaming live from the Agora in Bogotá. More than 3,500 delegates from more than 120 countries are gathering together to share experiences, energy, and evidence about health and sexual and reproductive rights. And the energy is around. Here we are. Through this week, we are going to bring to you histories events of everyone that has been working from their areas, defining the future of sexual and reproductive rights at the level of the whole world. Now, I would like to start with a very important panel. You are going to learn tons from it, and that's why I want to give the floor to Chris. Thank you. I love the energy that we're starting here. What do you think about that? Did we like it? Yes, of course, we love it. We love it because it's a very characteristic energy here in Colombia, and we're going to feel that through the whole conference. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because we are connected everywhere in the world. Of course, the timelines could be a little bit different. For everyone behind the cameras online with us, welcome to the ICFP. Welcome to Bogotá. Welcome to Colombia. We are so excited about having you here in our home. And this scenario, we're going to have lots of voices, actors, everyone full of passion about the sexual and reproductive rights. And this opening conference will have the best guests: Marta Riadi, the director from Pro Familia, the co-host, and Álvaro Bermejo, the global director of the ICFP. How are you? Very good. We're so excited about being here. The energy is of a different, the energy. We have not been here. It's the first time in Latin America, first time in Colombia for this conference. We have so much to learn for everything that we have done here. So excited about that. The energy and also the association, such a Pro Familia that has contributed funds to the country and to the whole world. But finally, here we are after such much work. It is official. We are here, Bogotá, Pro Familia as the host. What do you think about that? It is amazing. It's a dream that has become a reality. I had the opportunity of the ICFP that was done, and from that point, I thought this is a challenge, right? Because now what's going on in our region, and we were never in the radar, in these ICFP. So I have a lot of expectations. We're so proud of finally we have here. We are a region as well that is diverse, filled with extraordinary experiences, the will, the movements that are so important for us as well, and the Caribbean areas in Latin America as well. And at the same time, that emotion, the excitement of being here together in such a very peculiar time through the history, on a sexual and reproductive rights. So a lot of emotions going on here, but I'm so pleased about feeling all of them. Welcome. Let's give them a big hand so everyone that is online can actually hear us from this beginning. And absolutely a very critical point now that we are in Latin America and the Caribbean. This is a region that was never the headquarters of this conference. Alvaro, the things that Latin America can teach and can lessons that we can share from here, from Latin America and the Caribbean, besides the energy that we have in Latin America, what else can be different in this conference? Many things, I think so. First of all, the energy, which is an energy that at this point is telling the world that here we are. We are not hiding. We can have a lot of problems will rise, a lot of things to make us disappear. But Colombia says, here we are. And the ICFP is here as well, saying we are not going anywhere, and we're going to keep on the fight. And I believe that is also quite important. And you had advanced as well in many areas, and you had advanced as well thanks produce changes at the legislative level, but also changes on the real access to the true freedom that we can access to. And all of those are things that we can learn from the world, the things that we have done here. And I believe that we are going to achieve that with this conference. We are going to be able to achieve that through this because you can feel it in the environment, you can feel it, right? And we are just saying that the energy is different, Marta. Now for the people that are connected online, this is the year, the 60 years of Pro Familia, and such a way to close this year. We call it closing because we are just a few weeks from closing it, and this is a year filled with challenges, with important milestones for Pro Familia. Tell us a little bit about the history. What is Pro Familia for Colombia, for the region? And today we ratified it when the main organization that can really leverage to bring this event to the region. The history was shared with many from the standpoint of the challenges that we face for the last 60 years. Once Pro Familia was founded, the rate was 7.1 children, and what is shown on this path through these 6 years is that Pro Familia was able to achieve to have a direct impact on the most vulnerable women, so they can really to anti-conceptive procedures and methods. For in the last 60 years, we did not stop there, but as the population and the people were advancing on their needs, from the standpoint of the sexual and reproductive rights, Pro Familia also was making more modern itself, evolving as well. And that is an aspect that our organization, we also do advocacy. We provide health services for more than 50 clinics. Through the year, we can do more than 4,000 brigades, mobile brigades, thinking of bringing services and education to the rural populations, the ones that are remotely located. And also we have research activities, and of course we have a very robust comprehensive program in sexuality. So this shows the growth of everything that we do, the people here in this event, and this should go along working together with the people. Our starting point is the needs of the population in Colombia, so we can actually adapt our programs so we can answer to them, all of them. So the 60 years, the big amount of challenges, that's why it's so important for us to be here, but also the huge achievement. This is a country that has been able to achieve the depenalization of the abortion up to the 64-week. In our health system, we have included all the health and reproductive services and women today that wants to access to reproductive, we can access to this through the health system, and they don't need to pay for that. And it's not just through the abortion. So this is, here we're celebrating the 60 years of Pro Familia. This is a celebration to share all of those achievements and also the challenges, because we all have challenges as the rest and the whole globe. But all of these challenges can really inspire, and how the strategic view, how we can integrate the need, what we do with this intersectional view, we can transform this into programs with good outcomes. The 60 years, we also celebrate that with the population, but also with the government of Colombia, with the policymakers, with the constitution. This has been a lie that even when they were in agreement, they had the capacity to analyze the evidence. And what is the evidence? The life of people in Colombia. So the invitation is to celebrate together. The history can actually inspire as well that yes, it is possible. We can do it. We all need to think as a collective, so we can persist, insist, and also we can go on all the struggles and the battles that we need to face. Lovely. This hopeful feeling is amazing. We had a meeting yesterday with journalists, and we're saying we cannot lose hope. There's a lot of field that we have won, a lot of victories, and something that cannot happen is for ourselves to reduce ourselves to disencourage ourselves based on the situation that is happening around the world. Alvaro, which one is your perception of Latin America and the Caribbean from that global perspective that the IPPF has after many decades of working? It's 70 years, if I'm not mistaken, right? Almost 72 years, actually. Which one is your analysis of the region? Well, in this sense, this has been a very interesting region because Latin America has been most likely one of the first fields of battle where the against all the anti-rights are very organized than ever. So they started this push, this struggle, so we can actually protect the sexual and reproductive rights. And this was one of the first fields where we have these battles, and from where we saw a strategy, an international one that was very clear, and basically a country was following the other on the attack that we received from one of very well shared strategies and founded by these rights. So that's why it's so important to have the conference here, and that's why also we can see, yes, we do have countries where we have a lot of advance and some step backs as well, but we have also some other cases that are still keep on going, advancing on this, and we have also some other countries with specific needs, and they need the union of everyone, so we are not compromising, so we are advancing on this. So this is the whole situation that is happening in the world. This is one of the places where actually we have all of this work, the beginning of all of this, and that's why we are so proud of having Profamilia here in Colombia as well, because this is truly an example of not even one step back. We're going to advance, and we're going to have very clear the goal, the destination, and the step that we're going to go one after the other to do everything against all the odds, and knowing that we won't change the fact that we are going to keep on the struggle, on the fight, that we're going to build more alliances, to have the intelligence to find out how we are seeing how this is working and putting together against our right, so we can also keep on the struggle and tackle that. And that's why it is so important. It does not mean that we cannot learn from other regions. Of course, there are so many things that we can keep on learning, and we're open to do that, but it is a bi-directional relationship as well. There's so many things that we can learn and teach in many aspects, not just in the contraception or abortion that was spoken about by Marta a few minutes ago, but also inclusion and sexual and reproductive rights. This is a call to the collective movements. We speak about this in communications a lot. Sometimes we use the narratives concept. Sounds like a far away, like a distant concept, but we can put this together through the histories, networking, and joint work. And why this is so important? Which one is your stand from the collective work and the agenda of sexual and reproductive rights? Which one is the analysis from that standpoint? Course, and let me share with you an story that I shared this morning. I think for me, somebody told me yesterday, a good representation of the team for Profamilia working on this conference. You see, they are going to all the areas when they are discussing about different topics, and we have the opportunity to talk about in the subcommittees about this. And the most important one is that exactly, you know, the feedback that I receive constantly. What they tell me is it's so extraordinary to be here, to be able to listen what is happening in Ghana, for example, what is happening in Thailand, the histories, the narratives. At the end of the day, all of that is making it evident that what we need today of a girl in Ethiopia is not the same of a girl that it is needed in Chocó in Colombia. So that is the importance of these exchanges, how we can actually support each other, how we can learn from each other and challenge each other as well. But I feel that it's also very important to feel that we are supporting easy other, and that really makes a difference. Trust me, it is not knowing that everything that's happening, knowing that the energy is not going out, that the hub is under attack, but the collective narrative that we can live together in these type of scenarios, and that is what is really translated into the strength, so we can keep on going. So my call to the team is to take advantage of this. The conference is here in Colombia, and you can really listen the other stories, you can listen the other lives, the other solutions that you have been found, and now the challenge in problems, we also will find a way to connect and to support each other so we can keep tackling the challenges ahead of us. But the strength and the narrative makes the whole difference before the answer that we want to achieve as a conference, as a organizations, as a federations, as well as people. And that's what is making the difference. This collective message is so important about how have you done that in FPPN, because to lead a global organization that has a challenge to create congruence with the different contexts and all the realities, but also connected first for the search, of course. We want to ensure the sexual and reproductive rights, but also we need to say that they are connected due to the vulnerability against your rights. So from the FPPN, what do you want to share with everyone that is with us here? Thank you, Christian, for the question, and thank you for bringing this up here, because I believe that this conference is a very good example. Every time we are under attack, every time they say that the sexual and reproductive rights is an imposition from a country over the other country, because from my stand, first I feel 150 countries that are part of the associations, the member countries, all of them fully aligned on values that are shared by all of us. This is not coming from anyone else. This is coming from the countries that are organized under the ICFP, the FPNN. This is a very much alive organization. We share values that are universal and represent as well the solidarity between all the countries, the member countries. So for me, this conference, and precisely now that is also with the new brand that we're going to launch today, these are the good news that we have, but somehow this represents, I think, we can see this as a fire. We all joined around this fire pit to share stories, narratives, to the light of this sheer fire that is there at the core of this conference. All of us. That's the fire. With this warmth shared by this fire that you feel, we're in Colombia and we share all of that as well. And we can reaffirm ourselves that we won't stop this solidarity fire with shared values. This won't be broken. This won't be won't be quiet. So that's the way I see it. That's the way I see the ICFP. The fire as a activity of energy that doesn't matter what is going to happen. We are going to still be, we're going to be there through solidarity, all of us. I love the invitation, Alvaro. I feel that everyone is connected so they can feel the warmth that we're sending from Bogotá, although we have a cold day here, but that's the warmth of the collectiveness that we have here in Bogotá, that we feel that is so important. Something else that we are so excited about is the fact that we had the first years of the balance of this conference. And the good news for all of you and also for the panel is that the conference with the highest amount of participation of young guys and people. Let's give a big applause because of that. So relevant for all of us, for everyone that is here working for this agenda. Once I heard this data, I think the future, we do have a future there. Sometimes they want to tell us we're just a few, that we're less. No, that's not truth. What is your perception? We're here, a lot of people raising their voices, talking about advocacy, decision makers. What do you think about that, Marta? Very relevant as well for Pro Familia. I love it. We do have a network of youngsters, more than 1,500 girls and boys, with the diversity as well. And talking about the energy and talking about fire, well, we feel that. And we feel that thanks to them. I'm also nervous at the same time. But then I'm nervous things that I feel that is so important, the strength, the force coming from the youngsters that push us, that challenge us, they make us uncomfortable, they are disruptive. And that is so important because when we go through these moments, the current time, we need that new energy and we need to question ourselves so we dare to think differently. The things that have worked so far and the things that we need to celebrate, but also the things that we need to think and rethink ourselves before the future. We need The ways we need to connect with the people as well. Because without any doubt, they're going to receive the flag. They will be the new champions, and we are walking towards that point. And of course, the cool nervousness that we feel because it's a challenge, because we need to find a way to keep on connecting with them, how our language needs to change, how the narrative needs to change as well. Because at the end of the day, it's not them, for us, but we are a single us, a single movement. And this message that we want to share all the time is that we are here for you. We are exist because of you. It's not the other way around. That's our slogan, so to say, because it goes through the whole organization, goes through the whole federation, and without any doubt, this is a very important representation of the federation, meaning that is guys from everywhere, many countries coming here. And that's the point. If we are uncomfortable because something that we are being challenged for, or because there is a demands upon us. No, we need to accept the challenge, and that is the challenge as well that we are going to build together. Not the future, as well the present. That should be very clear for all of us. I want to add something there because I celebrate the fact that we have more young people than before, but I celebrate even more not just in numbers, but more the youngers that are also even younger. This is the first conference where we had the participation of minors, and I think that is so important. I want to thank the organizers and the Pro Familia, because thanks to that we have been able to make that possible, that they had that initiative, right? Because we were talking about youngsters and we were talking about adult youngsters, right? But now, truly, we have another participation, new people here, and we need to learn how to talk and how to behave with these young people, so we can fully understand each other, so they also feel included. As federation, as we thought about a strategy, we wanted to ask the young people, we want to give them floor and voice. I'm so happy to have them written down by that person that was younger than 25. At first they told us, what are you talking about? We're not talking about sexuality. We don't talk about sex like that. I don't understand anything you're talking about, Alvaro. What is that about? They told me that, and we had a contest with the participation of more than 4 million of young guys. They told us the way they wanted to talk about sex and sexuality. They said 8,000 words. These are the words that we use. They told us that. You documents don't use those words. We cannot see them. We don't like these words because of this or that. We need to get over these words. Perhaps we might have a conference that also is capable of talking like that, with that voice that is coming from the youngsters that requires, is asking for the changes right now. We have created this word for them. They don't feel there, but they're changing that right now. Amazing invitation. We are running out of time. So I love what you're talking about. And the people that are here in Agora, in Bogotá, my invitation is for them to go around, from the IPPF right next to Pro Familia. I don't want to go ahead of the time right now, but we have different types of scenarios. You need to go around, you need to review the information, because yes, it is true. The young people, they have different demands right now. And I think the big lesson here, as a person also that works in communications, is that yes, we need to use those words. Sometimes the mistakes for the ones that are working here is that we are just on the technical level, the medical level. Of course, those are important aspects. We need to just leave that so it's fully understood. We're running out of time now. My question is, what do you want to hear the head of the people after the ICFP? What about the commitment, the premises? Something that you said after Bogotá, of course, this is going to be an unbelievable event, but what do you want to contribute to the agenda after this? So many things. First of all, I would like you to keep the hope that the fact that we are here to have this conference in a moment where we have a high probability of nobody even being able to travel due to everything that is happening. And yes, it is possible. We can actually make it possible. And also, what Alvaro was talking about, and says that we need to question ourselves the narratives that we have, that we need to incentivize and need to build before the future, the things that need to change. Even for the International Conference on Family Planning, we are questioning ourselves all the time. This when we have different voices with different experiences, so we dare to ask different questions as well. So we need to redesign the path ahead of us. We need to have this message. Here we are. We're going to be here for a long time out of us, and for so many decisions. So some voices that are not so strong as before, but they will be back. And we cannot forget that this is a story that will continue, and we represent a small universe of all the voices around the world that are fully persuaded that that's the way it should be. So this is one thing. Please also enjoy Colombia, enjoy Bogotá, enjoy the fact that you are here surrounded by the people around us, helping each other, but without any doubt, this is a story that will continue, and this will be the seed of the change that we need to bring upon us. So we need to keep on working and walking together. We're going to keep changing the history of the sexual and reproductive rights of all the people for this planet. The Latin American participation on the next ICFP, we were talking about Spanish, the language, many things we need to conquer, but this is something that we're doing as a region. So Alvaro, which one are your main takeaways for you of this conference? I believe the ICFP in Bogotá will be remembered in the future as the moment when we gather together so we can step forward. So we're here, fighting for our defense. For now, I think it's not about defense, but to build something that we'll get from this conference. Vision, the goal, destination that we're going to aim with our dreams, our desires, our strength, our energy that we're going to collect from here. So that is the step to defense, to put all the scaffold so the building is still keeping together. And then we're going to say, okay, it's not like that anymore. We're going to move forward. That's what we're going to achieve in the next 4 or 5 days. So if you're here, take advantage of that. Eventually connect with people, and together we're going to step forward. Thousands of people are behind the camera. Thank you, Marta and Alvaro, for the messages. Thank you for being part of this opening on the live stage from the ICFP. So happy. Congratulations, Dr. Marta, for the Pro Familia anniversary. I know that you represent the whole community as well, and everyone knows about Pro Familia, and you are part of this version of this anniversary. So any last word, closing remarks that you want to share to speak with the community? Take advantage of this conference and be the fire here. Let's vibrate together for the sexual and reproductive rights. I love that. Thank you very much for being with us. Let's give a big hand to our guests, and back to you. So if you're here in the Agora around us, please keep connected. We're going to have panels, workshops in this historical event, the ICFP, for the first time in Latin America. Once again, welcome, and thank you so much for being with us.